Well, good morning, everybody. It is Labor Day. We're laboring on Labor Day. I'm Dave Rolfe, and welcome to the Smart Networker. This is our Monday morning call, and today we're going to embark on lesson 3 of the new program on business success. And this is on the topic of what do you want? First was understanding what you have. The second one, understanding the potential. Now we want to understand what it is that you want and see how this fits in the relationship of everything else that you're going to do. So as we start off with in this, it's a definition of want. And I think it's very important because when I looked up the definition of want, it's to have a strong desire for, to have an inclination toward, to have a need of, something wanted, a need or desire. So want can almost be anything, and it's either needed or desired, and it doesn't necessarily mean a thing, an object, money, although it could. Also, when you work on want, you are constantly creating and focused on the future, which is a very positive thing to do. Therefore, what you want is what you want. And that's important. It's what you want becomes the important piece here. And this is one of the most important areas that you need to understand. And once you are in, once you're in the business, it's no longer about you. Interestingly enough, it's about the person you're speaking to and what they want. And again, then it becomes building a team of individuals that are going after what they want as individuals. And this is true on all fronts. Ideas, philosophies, goals, hopes, desires, understanding, realities, outlooks, and beliefs. Now, most of the population needs to work or likes to work and must work in order to live life. And this is a very important piece moving forward. Also, most need to do something to remain sane and healthy. So in other words, when you ask yourself the question, what do you want from doing this business? Okay, this is a very important question. Understand that this is something that's important to you. Okay, it has to be important to you and in many respects unique to you and very relatable to work and the results of work and how other people see it as well. It represents freedom, choices, and self-determinism. So if this question comes up, why are you doing this business? The answer must be to get what you want. See, that's the simple answer, whatever that is. But it must include the aspect of benefits that as they relate to work or working. When we communicate with others, part of what we're doing is finding out what they want or like or dislike so that we can then show them how doing Nikan can help them eliminate something, replace something, or get something. What you want is important to you, and what you want is important, and what they want is important to them. So they can relate to you going after what you want. You can relate to them going after what they want. The objective then is that they see that they can get what they want by doing Nikan. And the fact that this is what you are doing and making progress with becomes the validation and the encouragement to make decisions to join you. Very important aspect. Now, in the want category, so to speak, this can mean many things. When you ask those in Nikan why they're doing the business, they always come back with a want or wanted answer. And this was kind of a bit of a missed piece of information and idea, as it had always been labeled, you got to find your why. That was what everybody was taught. And when asked what the why was, it always was something that was wanted. That was the interesting thing. So if somebody says, well, what's your why? Well, I wanted to make money, or I wanted to provide for a family, or I wanted to help people. It was always a want, because that's the only way it can possibly work. So In fact, you need to identify what you want so that you can do the necessary work to get it. And that's the important piece to understand. Trying to find your why opens up basically opens up Pandora's box, because it can lead to wild goose chases trying to figure out a why. You know, why did you have to stand in the corner when you were a kid? Why did you have to go to school? Why did you have to eat peanut butter? Why did you have to have lettuce? I mean, all these questions were why questions. And, you know, you could be sitting there scratching your head. And you can see this in people that are on wild goose chases, you know, seeking freedom, peace, joy, and love. So here, if they stay focused on want, then they will find their why. It becomes very obvious to get what you want. So it's a very important thing. This is a business, and this business can provide you with whatever it is that you want. And it can allow you to go anywhere. It can, on your terms, when you decide to go. And I know I accomplished this. And I know many others that did as well. And if you Google search this topic, and I'm talking about small business enterprises, not specific to networking, but just business in general, you're going to find that the business owner is the one that makes the most, has the most, and retains the most compared to somebody that's an employee, simply because you control the checkbook, and there's so many advantages of having a business. And that's something that you also need to understand. Now, what I ended up with, what I got, what the results of being involved, what I did is what I did and what I got. It may not be what you want. It may not be the same direction, but whether it does or not, the key is in understanding that you can get pretty much anything that you want by being involved with Nika, and especially living on this planet when it comes to work, survival, and survival related activities. So it's on how we look at this. It's in, okay, I gotta let somebody in, okay. It's in how we look at this and understand this that allows us to apply, that becomes important, because it's all in the application. So first we need to look at the various areas of want. And by this, I mean some areas that of what people want, and this could be exhaustive, but it's important to get a concept that we can talk about next. And a want can be a feeling. A want can be a sensation. A want can be an emotion. A want can be an experience, a thing, a purpose, a desire, and not necessarily just money or some specific physical thing. It could be related to being accepted, accomplishment, being recognized, being part of a group. It could mean financial success, lots of money, ability to be philanthropic, being looked up to, being acknowledged. It could mean gratification, satisfaction for helping others, empathy, purposeful, duty, a calling of sorts, religious or not. Any of the above could be the basis for drive, commitment, persistence, and getting results, because the results end up giving you what you want, or the results help you decide what to do more of or get on top of. So it's been said that the whole benefit is getting there, okay, the journey. And once you've arrived, it's time for a new game. So knowing what you want can also change. At first, my goal, my want was $8,000 a month to pay for my basic bills. So once I achieved that, I had to figure out, well, what else do I want as a result of doing this business? And it changed. And I changed to new goals, and then new wants and new goals. And that kept going for years. And when I reached the 7-figure income, I now wanted something completely different. And that was to help other people become successful as well, because the journey was absolutely a blast. I mean, I had the most fun I've ever had. So it's a journey, it's a process. But the reason for setting the stage with what this information is the next part. And that is, how do you get what you want? Now, the business is not you. Okay, so it's a thing you create, and it does what you tell it to do, or in other words, when you decide to do an activity and go and do it, a result is created. When that's something that you want, if you're focused in the right direction. Now, wants are usually emotionally based in nature, and the business doesn't understand emotions. It only understands mechanics, numbers, basic functional activities, and it won't call you up when there's a problem or a challenge. But if there's a fire and you've set up an alarm system, you'll get notified. So the business is a thing. The business operates on numbers. And this is very important. And when activities are done that produce results, the business knows about these results, and if it's associated with a group that pays for results, like a Nikon, it pays you get a result with Nikon, you get paid. That's the bottom line here. Then it'll receive a check. And the business keeps records, and then from that, then the person can do what they want to do. You can pay your bills, you can buy food, you can travel, however much is sitting in the bank account. Now, there are two aspects to your business. One is, what will you do to create results? And then the second is, what will you do to get others to create results? And these are two different activities, and we're going to explore both of them over time. Now, let's tie these two thoughts together, because this is very important. You want something, and then the business needs to know what this want means. What's the numeric value of that want? And there's a reason for that. And for the sake of really understanding this, I'm going to keep this to an income focus. And the reason for the income focus is 95% of the people that signed up in Nikon signed up to make some extra money or do this as a living. So it's kind of an important want that we want to explore. So here's the situation. You want to do Nikon so you can earn and live decently and provide for your family. Now, that's a very, very worthy want, and most people are in that boat. I know I was, and I know many other people that were. They want to earn a good living, and they want to do well. Why? So that they can go have fun, enjoy themselves, okay? Now, we need to translate this in terms of, what does this mean to Nikon? Okay, and that's quite obvious that income is income, no matter where it comes from. So if you have a job and you get income, it's income. If you do the business and it creates income, it's income. The key here is, how do you get the income? Okay, and what do you need to do, and what's the same as what you've been used to? What's different than what you're used to? And what's so unique and wonderful about this specific model that you can address, learn, understand, and apply? And with this model, you have the ability to write your own ticket. No question about that. You can create whatever result that you want to create. What's required? Here's the key. What's required? A complete understanding and willingness to do the activities that are known to create the results. In other words, to work in sufficient quantities that produce the desired results that give you what you want. Now, I got way, way more than I possibly could have dreamed of. I mean, and in the end, it was exactly what I wanted. And interestingly enough, most of the benefits from doing this were emotionally based. And the size of the organization that was created, the results that were produced were absolutely fantastic. And it all started by going after what I wanted, and seriously, not, seriously, I mean, really putting an effort, an attempt, an intention to get the job done. I mean, it's like nothing's free in this world. So that's important. So the business is a thing. You direct the business. It operates on numbers, and with the right direction, activities get done to produce those numbers. Those numbers represent something that can be exchanged for other things that you want. Therefore, the key here is understanding what needs to be done to get what you want, no matter what it is. So let's look at an example. And again, this is going to be recorded so you can review this, so you don't have to take serious notes, but you might want to take some. You want to live a lifestyle that allows you and your family to enjoy life, travel, save for the future, or however else you want to define it. This is important. Define it. Now, in order to make this happen, you figured out it's going to cost you an extra $5,000 per month. The dollar amount is the representation in society of what is needed to get all those things that you want. Okay, it's the scorecard, it's the representation, and it's your doingness and creativity that's going to put it there. Okay. Now, this is a worthy want. I mean, this is something that's important, something that you should be willing to do. Okay, willing to do is important. And that it's the work necessary that you need to understand to get the job done. So now, with that being said, what must be known is, what does Nikan say you have to do to get $5,000? See, that's the representation. So this would be at first glance what you want to look at. What is an understanding of what would need to be in place to get this check for 5K, and what needs to be done. What are the activities to make this actually happen? Okay. Now, based on the plan that Nikan currently has, I'm going to say currently, because things are in the works, there are a few ways that you can earn income to get a benefit, and these must be known, and known well if you expect to make this work. So you have this thing called your compensation plan. It's you got to know that, and the reason why you got to know that is so that you can communicate, and because again, once you're in, it's no longer about you. You're providing solutions for other people, and that's the plan that they're going to work. So obviously, it makes sense that you should know something, at least as much as you can. And there's a bit of videos on the website that'll teach you about that one as well. And again, there's a reason for this statement, which will come up shortly. The ways you earn money are retail income, rebate income, production bonuses, residual income, and of course the travel incentive bonuses. So initially understanding each of these various income sources will allow you to plan and create a strategy based on who you are, your circumstances, and what you want. Okay. Now, this would also mean that this is the same for anyone else, but in the beginning, what you need to understand is whose role is it to do specific activities? And when do the roles change to move to other specific activities? This is like any other career, that when you're providing answers or solutions or ideas or strategies, knowing the various ways gives you the possibility of many choices, and that can be used or employed, and that fit the personality and the abilities or lack of abilities that the person you're speaking with has. So let's get into the details. And one of the key reasons for following is to get a basic understanding of the reality of what needs to be done. In other words, okay, so I want to make $5,000. Can I make it next month? Well, I don't know. It depends. So what it depends on is an understanding of who you are, what you do, the time you have available, all those good things, and what has to be in place. So it's important to get the reality of reaching your objective. You can reach your objective, and if you do it properly, it's all easy to be done. It's not a difficult task, but you want to have the reality of the effort required and the time required to get the job done. So for most, some or all of this could be totally unfamiliar. Again, a lot of people that you're going to talk to have no clue as to what this is all about, and this is to provide that clue. And there is no such thing as failure in our business. None. You can't fail here. All you can do is not do enough of what needs to be done. That's it. I mean, again, what we do is very simple, but again, it's just doing enough of that simple thing. That's what's going to create the results, and understanding how much of that you have to do is part of that puzzle. Okay, so first is your retail and rebates. Now, most of you know this, but I'm assuming that there are going to be new people that are going to watch this. So here's the first area of income. And how much retail volume, in other words, and again, this is an education part for you guys to utilize in your presentation and talking to other people as well. In other words, if you wanted to earn $5,000 per month, what would have to be done in just doing retail sales? What would be the equation for that? So you get 20%. So that means 5,000 divided by 20%, that's $25,000 worth of retail sales. So if you wanted to make, doing just strictly retail, $5,000 a month, then you're going to have to sell $25,000 or move $25,000 worth of product. However, you get a rebate, and you got to calculate that rebate into that. Now, the rebate on this is paid on a different aspect of it. So paid on the commissionable volume, and on average, it's around 65%. And this is quite normal in this industry and any other industry that works on retail products and what they can pay the commission on. And so in that rebate system, you can earn up to 20% of the CV. Now, I'm talking general here because I want to give a general idea so you get the concept of this, and then you'll work out I'll give you a homework and you'll be able to work out the specific details. So you have a $25,000 retail goal. You sell $25,000, you make $5,000. The rebate on that's going to be about 20% of $13,000, which is 65%. So there's another $2,600. So for doing $25,000 in retail, you actually make $7,600. Now that could be over a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, or 5 months, but you're able to now answer a question. Well, how do I make $5,000 a month? Well, you could do it by selling retail and getting a personal rebate. Okay. Now, it's a formula. I've used this many times. People, I'd ask them, would you be interested in making an extra $5,000? And then here's how. This is one way. Now you have another way. And the next way that you can make money is by building a team. And that's the group rebate. So you have to understand the relationship of the group rebate to how you make money. Now, you're not going to make, it's going to be very difficult to make $5,000 a month in the group rebate area. And simply because of the amount of money that's being involved. So I did some examples on the group rebate. And so if you wanted to make, again, $5,000 a month in the group rebate area, you'd have to do, okay, let's do half and half on directs, half on executives. So $2,500 from your direct distributors and $2,500 from your executive distributors. Well, how much can you make on a direct if you're a silver and you're getting the full commissionable value? Well, they get 5%. That means you get the difference. So that's 15%. So if you wanted to make $2,500, divide that by 15%, then you'd have to, or that group would have to sell $16,000 worth of product. Now, if we have added other data, what's the average sale in Meekin? What's the average person do? You're probably going to have between 75 and 100 directs in your business. So realistically, to make $5,000 from the rebate system is going to be a challenge. And it's a realistic understanding that you have to look at so that the expectations of going after what you want are focused in the right area. And it's a blend that you have to look at, which we're going to come to. So that then opens up the door to the next aspect. And the next aspect of understanding how to get what you want is to look at the residual income. We know this as leadership bonuses. And that's the capability of understanding your structure. Now, when I realized this, and this was many years ago, how this business worked, it actually blew my mind as to the potential that could be created by being involved and working in the right areas. And it's leverage. And leverage is a very important aspect. And it's the concept that I learned when I first got involved in 1975 of, if you owned a Coke machine on every corner of every street, and every time somebody bought a product, you made a nickel. Well, how do you set up a Coke machine on every corner of every street? Well, you need help. And that's the object of this game, is you need help. You can't do it by yourself. It's a team sport. Okay, so let's look at these details because they're very, very important. So you want to make $5,000 a month. And again, the idea of what's the rate of pay? Well, the rate of pay here is 6% in the leadership bonus area. So in order to make 6%, what are you getting 6% of? Well, you're earning that on the commissionable volume. So you'd have to have an organization that produced 83,000 CV a month to make your 5,000. Okay, don't worry about the figures. Just understand the concept here, because this is part of what you're going to be doing to explain to others. So you're not doing this by yourself. You're creating a structure and an organization. Now, here's where you can have a piece of paper and a pen, and you can write down this example. So let's say that you want to do this $5,000 and you're getting paid 6%. What does that equate to in retail? Well, approximately 130 to 140,000 retail sales. All right, that's a big number. But we're not doing this by ourselves. We're doing this with a team that we create. So let's say that you go out and you find 2 people. You can write this number down, 2, A and B, 1 and 2, however you want to do it. And you help them build this business. And they become successful, and they each in turn get 2 each. So then on your first level, you have 2. On your second level, you have 4. Now you have a total of 6. And then you keep that structure going down. Now, the next part of this puzzle is, what's going to be the average production of these groups? Well, in this business, for example, there are groups that do 100,000 a month. There's groups that do 10,000 a month. There's groups that do 50,000 a month. There's groups that do 2 million a month. Those numbers are all over the place. So you need to do 140,000 in sales. How many groups do you need to have? Because this concept is what makes this work. So I looked at 7,000. So if you had 7,000 as an average production for a group of people, that could maybe mean 10, 15, 20, 30 people in a group. They're doing 7,000 in sales. You're getting 6% of that. How many do you need to make your 5,000? You need 20. So the concept is simple to understand. And again, this is going to be videoed. I'm going to supply you with the document to support this. It's in the compensation plan video that we did. And then our next training is going to be the strategy and the plan to put it all together. But it's the concept that becomes the important part of this to help you get what you want. See, getting what you want in this business is easy. It's understanding the brick by brick method. What do? We talk to other people. Well, what do we talk to other people about? Well, we talk to other people about an idea, a solution, a desire, a need, or a want. And if what we have fits their particular profile and they understand enough, then they make a decision to join. I've been doing this for 46 years. This is how it works. It's not difficult. And so therefore, what you want to understand is then the concept of how you get what you want. Now, as individuals, and this is what's important about this, we all have the ability and capability to make a decision, to look at information and evaluate that information. And if it seems beneficial to who we are and what we want, and we can understand how to be involved, how to do, okay, this is the key thing, how to do, what to do, then we can move forward with that. And that's your job. And that's very, very important. So what do you do to make this all work? Well, it's real easy. You start off with the retail activity. All right. I mean, that makes sense. You sell product, you make your retail profit, you get your rebate, and you start working up the ladder. And then you start to build a team, and you build that team with directs and executives and their activity, and that creates volume. And you look for those that really want to do it. And then you focus on moving in a downward direction. And why do you want to go in that? Well, read vested interest, look at the Smart Networker, and you'll understand the concept of depth. But by focusing on depth, you create a team. And by creating a team, you create like-minded people going after what they wanted. And it's not you by yourself or them by yourself, which tends to be the way it goes. And then you'll find people that really want to do this business. And we hear those success stories all the time. So-and-so went silver, so-and-so is building a team, So-and-so is in Hawaii having a great time because she built a team and had lots of sales. And we hear that success. So we know that there are people out there that want to do this and will engage and will do the activity. So when you find one of those characters, then you make sure you help them and get underneath them and help build them and then build that long-term residual income. And that's really how you do it. So the sky's the limit here. There is no limits on what you can do. And I can attest to that. I can attest to that after 32 years of getting what I wanted and more than what I wanted and everything that I wanted and doing what I wanted, when I wanted, getting up when I mean, all of those benefits came about by being focused on what had to be done. And that's the operative word. What has to be done? See, activities and results in this business are created by you doing something. You direct the business. You figure out what numbers relate to what numbers to make this happen. How many people do you have to go talk to? I was on the call the other day and somebody said, well, I talked to 57 people and I got 2 people that said yes. Perfect. Now you know what you need to do. Keep talking to 57 people and then you'll find 2 people that say yes, and then that'll improve, won't it? Because you'll improve. So if you want to help others, well, maybe that's your objective, that's your want, then the bigger you create this, the more you help. I probably helped hundreds of thousands of people in my career. I can't, product sales has been close to over $1 billion with that, and those that I've helped that aren't in my organization and other organizations, probably that's even higher. So how many people did you help? How big can you make your business? And that'll tell you how many people you can help. And unfortunately, when you do this, you're going to make a lot of money. So then you can help people in another way, and you can be philanthropic, and there's a tremendous joy in that. So simply put, whatever you're after, whatever you want, you can get it by creating a successful, productive Meekin business. No question about it, as an independent distributor. So now our next lesson, which is going to be next Monday, same time, same channel, and is going to be your roadmap and strategy. So we're going to take the first 3 lessons and put them together and create a strategy, or you're going to create your strategy to get you what you want, and how to build this business. And this is what is to be duplicated, is the understanding of how to put it together. What you do as an individual is what you do. And that's going to be hard to duplicate because we're all unique, and you can't do it the way I did. You can't do it the way Mike did. You can't do it the way anybody else did it, because that was based on who they are. And so what you have to figure out is, who are you and how are you going to do this? And how do you apply the information that makes it work? And that's the key, and that's the operative. How do you apply the information that makes this work? So anyway, next week is going to be a great lesson. But in between that, what I recommend and suggest you do is play around with lesson 1, lesson 2, and lesson 3 now, because these are the 3. This will be recorded later, and start working on your presentation and how you could present this, how you could talk about this, so that you can attract other people, because that's the nature of how this is going to work. The more people that you talk to, the more opportunity you have people to join you. The more opportunity you have people to join you, the bigger your business can get. And that's the simplicity of how this all works. So remember, success in this business is learned behavior. And results in this business come about by doing enough of the right activities. So thanks for being here today. This is the end of lesson number 3, how to get what you want. And we'll end the recording and then go into a Q&A. So bye for now, and we'll see you next week.